I'm also going to take a moment or two to talk about something else that is actually very near, dear, and important to me, and that is lymphedema. Now, for those of you that haven't been on my channel before, are probably thinking, well, that's kind of weird. Why would you want to talk about something like that? What even is that? Lymphedema? That sounds crazy, right? Well, March is also Lymphedema Awareness Month. And what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about it. What is lymphedema? What are some things that might cause lymphedema? You know, treatments that people can undergo if they get lymphedema, and, you know, all that fun stuff. Now, with the caveat that I'm not a doctor, okay? But I did do a little reading on my own, so I think I can explain it a little bit to you guys. I'm going to keep it as short and sweet, as simple as possible, but know that this is an affliction that affects, even though it's rare, it still affects, you know, a good many people out here, not just in the United States, but all over the world, and including yours truly, which is part of the reason why it is so near and dear to me, is because I happen to have lymphedema. So, well, I guess let me go ahead and start by, you know, giving a little background and defining it. So, lymphedema involves the lymph system. Okay? We all have this, all right? And what the lymph system does is, between its nodes and its own, you know, tracts throughout the body, what the lymph system is responsible for is collecting waste product from your bloodstream and taking that waste product to organs that filter such, you know, that filters such things out, like your kidneys, for example. And it basically does this by transporting fluid known as lymph fluid throughout the body, and it cycles round and round and round and round. Okay, the body can produce more if it needs to, but yeah. So that's kind of the basics of the lymph system. And so what lymphedema is someone gets lymphedema when there is damage done to the lymph system somewhere, typically the lymph nodes, which is what actually does the collection. And what happens is, instead of, you know, where the damage, you know, if there's damage, you know, instead of the lymph system actually flowing, you know, allowing the fluid to flow, what happens is, because of the damage, the fluid stops flowing in certain parts of the body, and it winds up staying in that area, collecting, pulling, and causing immense amounts of swelling. Lymphedema typically affects, most of the time, the limbs are affected, arms and legs, but it's not terribly uncommon for it to occur in other places also. And it's concerning because, one, the swelling can be painful. It can be very painful at times, as a matter of fact. Secondly, the swelling can cause wounds to occur, you know, on the skin, which allows for that lymph fluid to pass through that wound. So, you know, basically you wind up with leaks in your body. So that can happen. Because some of the waste product is, you know, dead bacteria, dead viruses, dead skin cells. Things that happen with lymphedema can also affect the immune system, because it plays a role in doing away with what the immune system, you know, takes care of. That, and, you know, when you got an open wound, you're going to be susceptible to infection anyway. So yeah. And it's important to understand that lymphedema affects people differently depending on how bad it is, what level it's at. There's like 3 levels. One being the least affected, and 3 being like, you know, worst case scenarios. Unfortunately, I'm a 3. And, you know, some people, you know, can stand to do with, you know, compression socks and, you know, be good with it, you know, until the condition either, you know, until, you know, if and when the condition actually worsens for them. For others, it can be crippling. Okay. I myself have experienced swelling that can't be, you know, treated, and it's affected my ability to walk. So, you know, so yeah, it can be, lymphedema can definitely be very life-altering. And, you know, that does, I mean, it can make life very difficult for people. There are primary and secondary causes. Primary causes are many, typically linked to different things that can happen with the body, including, like, you know, rare genetic cases, you know, where people wind up being born with it or develop it in childhood. Others, it's normally linked to some condition, and other primary factors are still yet unknown. So they're still doing some research on that. Secondary involves things that happen to the body because of, like, outside, you know, traumas that, you know, came from, like, outside the body. Typically surgeries and things like that. In fact, lymphedema is often linked to an after effect of certain cancer surgeries. Because cancer surgery becomes so invasive that sometimes the lymph nodes are at risk of getting damaged. And sometimes people develop lymphedema that way. Hello, Only. Welcome back. Good to see you again. So, yeah. Lymphedema is a condition that can be treated, but it's not curable at this point. You know, treatments include mainly a lot of compression and, you know, some massage. You know, you can get bandaged with, you know, depending on where the swelling is and everything, you can get bandaged for, you know, compression bandages regularly. There's compression garments, like compression socks, that people can get. There are machines that people can wear, like, around their limbs and stuff. Automatic massage machines that help encourage proper lymph flow. Elevation, if it's the limbs, particularly the legs, keeping your legs elevated is helpful. So yeah, there's ways to treat it. Right now, at least here in the United States, treatment options are limited by insurance. So, like, insurance doesn't cover a lot of these things. The insurance I'm on now will cover regular bandaging. So that's what I get to have done. But I don't have any machines. I don't have any compression socks because that comes out of my own pocket. They don't cover that. And I have no money. So, so we do with what we make do with what we got. And it's not bad, but, you know, it's still a trip to the nurse every 2 weeks to have it done. You know, yes, insurance. Yeah. But thankfully, they did pass into law something called the Lymphedema Treatment Act, which, you know, basically legislates insurance companies to expand, you know, covering other treatment options for lymphedema, like compression garments. And that goes into effect at the beginning of next year. And it specifically goes into effect for Medicaid, which is basically what you get when you retire here. Which is like, you know, it's basically the government covered insurance for citizens here in the United States when you retire or you're on Social Security income. So you know, there's that, and they're kind of hoping that other insurance companies will follow suit. I don't know if that's going to happen, but you know, it was a long fight to get that done. But yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. I just saw my bot put up the more info about it. So yeah, if you're interested, and I will show you guys what that bot meant. Okay. But let's see. Actually, hold on. That's not what I want. I thought I had this set up before. I apologize. Give me just a second. It's a screen capture. That. There. All right. We'll try to bring up a browser window for you guys so that you can see exactly what it is. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing. That's so strange. Hold on. Okay. Well, that's weird. Evidently, it wants to hide. Okay. I'm going to try changing to another window just to see what happens if I change the content. No? Okay, well, I guess it doesn't work then, OBS? I guess this doesn't work anymore? Is this what is this what you're trying to tell me? Do we even get that? No? How weird. How weird. Let me re-add it. Dang it. Dang it. Okay, well, we're getting something now. Yay! Browser window. I'm gonna have to put it over chat here for just a sec. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yay! Okay. That period should not be... Okay, so the period at the end of the sentence should not be part of the link. Let me try clicking on it. Open URL. Yeah, I don't get that error message when I click on it from... Yeah, I don't get that issue when I test it out. Ugh. I can, however, put an additional space in there if it. You think that might be if you're trying to copy and paste it. And that's the only reason I could think of as to why it's not working properly. I can go ahead and put another space in there just to, or to be rid of it, just to see if it'll, you know, make it easier for you guys to use it. Could be a mobile thing. No, but I appreciate that feedback. I went ahead and changed it. I'll change it in the command too. Because I know that's going to be set up the exact same way. There we go. All right, that should be better. All right, so when it pop up next time, cool. All right, anywho. Crisis averted there, right? Okay, so. But anyhow, here it is. Yeah. That must be it. Well, hopefully you guys can see this, all right? But yeah, if you go to the LinkedIn link, here's where it'll take you. And unfortunately, there aren't any anchors because this is real silly. So if you scroll down to where it says Resources Lymphedema, and here's a whole bunch of information on what lymphedema is from pretty reputable sources. Someone posted a video about it, as well as various nonprofit causes for, you know, for continuing research for lymphedema, education for lymphedema. Research, all that fun stuff. So yeah, check it out. Here's that Lymphedema Treatment Act I was telling you about. Great news. Lymphedema Act was passed by Congress and a new insurance coverage will go into effect January. Yep. Note that we are still in the process of updating our website to reflect new phase of advocacy. Yeah. So yada yada yada. Services to ensure that the coverage is implemented correctly. So, but yeah, this is legislation that they've been trying to get through for like over a decade. Largely because a lot of times here in the US, the government doesn't like to make insurance companies do things they don't want to do. So yeah. Anywho. So yeah, there's that. I appreciate you taking the time and listening to me about this. I appreciate that, but please go check it out. Donate to some of those causes if you can. And, you know, let's help spread awareness that this, you know, potentially crippling affliction for people it exists, it's real, it's, you know, it's something that affects people's lives every single day.